What's going on, people? Today I am reviewing Captain America Civil War in 4K Ultra HD, and I got that coming up for you next. So guys, if you couldn't tell by this review, I am a few weeks behind as far as 4K releases goes. I apologize for that, but I have a whole schedule that I have put in place that will make up for that, and by the end of this month, things will be different. But let's take this time, at least I would like to take this time, and let me know what you guys thought of this disc. For those of you who have seen it, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. And if you like this review, guess what? I do a whole lot of this all the time for people. So subscribe right down here. And to give you another taste of my reviews, I also reviewed Captain America the Winter Soldier, and you can view that right over here. And for those of you who didn't know, I already reviewed Captain America Civil War, the movie itself, and you can see that right over here. And that means that I can go straight into the video quality. This movie was given a 2K digital intermediate, so that means that this is actually an upscale to 4K. But unlike the Winter Soldier, I actually did really enjoy the Blu-ray of Civil War when it came out. The video presentation there was really damn solid, just crisp and clear, and that is very well kept up here, and detail is bumped up a notch, and those are mostly in close-up scenes and in action scenes. You can see every bit of wear and tear on any of the characters' faces during these action scenes. It definitely means a lot to the believability factor of these films. And then when you get into HDR, because that is where this is truly stepped up, and it is subtle, but at the same time it definitely it's very noticeable, and especially in explosions, like at the very beginning of the film when that explosion happens that really sets off the events for the rest of Civil War. That pops. And a lot of specifically Wanda's powers here, whenever she really does her powers, the CGI definitely it's more pronounced and it's more noticeable, and it has a lot more of a punch to it. Along with that, Vision, I feel like, gets a significant bump as far as his texturing, but a lot of the just the vivid colors. He is a great creation, and the colors of him truly do pop off the screen here. With that being said, I don't really feel like the black levels get that much of a substantial bump up on this 4K Blu-ray, but not because the black levels are bad here. It's just because they were so good on that Blu-ray. I didn't really see anything wrong with them there, to be quite honest with you. And, you know, this is a very muted color palette. The Russos, they do like their more steely blue color palettes up until Infinity War, and then they really pulled out all the stops there. So this isn't going to be that bright punch of HDR that everybody is looking for, but what I will say is, if you adjust your expectations, you are going to get what you want here, and that is why I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And getting into the audio here, we are given a Dolby Atmos mix. And you know what? I was kind of worried about this one just because the mix on that Blu-ray, you know, unlike the video quality on the Civil War Blu-ray, I hated the audio mix that was on that Blu-ray. It was terrible to me. I cranked it up to 11 on this mofo, and still, I just never really got what I wanted out of it. So, I really hoped for a good Dolby Atmos mix here, and it delivers really what I wanted, which is just stronger bass response. The bass response here is pretty damn good and very stepped up, very dynamic. Speaker separation is so much of what you want it to be. Surrounds are aggressive, and you know, on the Blu-ray, the sound mix just felt so small and so confined. Here, it is truly stepped up, and the field of sound feels pretty damn big. Height speaker work is limited, but what I will say is you can definitely hear it in the action scenes, specifically the action scene at the airport. That has the most height speaker work, and you would expect it there. You know, this movie, it's definitely a clear step up from the Blu-ray. So anybody that really didn't like the audio on that Blu-ray, I don't know why you would like it, because I thought it was pretty terrible. But it is stepped up here. I am actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. I do feel like this is really damn good, specifically for Disney. And I want to say that I did have to turn this up, like all Disney movies, you know, the Atmos mixes. But what I will say is, when I did that, I got what I wanted, and I was happy. And as far as the digital copy here goes, this is a Movies Anywhere digital copy, which means that you can download this on iTunes and on Vudu and get the 4K copy right there. And getting into the special features on this disc, there are actually no special features on the 4K disc. What are you going to do? That's what Disney does. But they are all on the Blu-ray, and what you get there is actually no audio commentary. I was surprised by that, but what you do get is the typical making of featurette that is pretty lengthy, and along with that, you get 2 featurettes that go through the road to Civil War for both Iron Man and for Cap. It shows you both of their sides to things and how they got to their stance in the Civil War. It's pretty interesting. And then you get some deleted scenes, some theatrical trailers, and a little sneak peek for Doctor Strange, because that was one of the ones that was coming up when this Blu-ray came out. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I do feel like some of the special features here are pretty interesting, but unfortunately none of them are on the 4K disc, and we didn't even get an audio commentary, so I feel like this is kind of lacking. And for my last looks at Civil War, look, this is the Marvel movie that I wanted it to be. It had heavy themes that you saw both sides of, and it very much delivered on that drama. It found time to introduce characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man into the mix, and actually fixed some characters that I felt kind of fell off track, like Iron Man and Wanda. You know, I found myself caring about even more characters here than I did coming out of it, and that is something that is truly impressive, and that is why I gave it. If you didn't watch my video review for Captain America Civil War, I'll put it right over here for you right now, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. And when you add up all my scores for Captain America Civil War in 4K Ultra HD, you come out to a 32 out of 40. That is largely because the movie, for my money, is one of the best Marvel movies out there, and the video quality and specifically the audio quality here is pretty damn good. If you are kind of suspect on picking up all of these Marvel movies in 4K and just want to pick up the real good ones, this is one of them, along with the first Avengers, you know? It's pretty damn good. And coming up next, I do have to review Alien, and unfortunately, I am going to be doing one big review for a lot of releases just because I want to catch up for all of the Batman stuff that is coming out the first week of June. That is going to be massive, and I have a lot to do for it. So, if you are excited about all that, comment down below, and thank you all for watching. You guys are awesome. I don't even need to say it because you know it, and I will see all of you next time.